Hello, friends. This is my starting quick check of audio levels. I hope that the technology is working correctly. Give me a little notice in the chat if you can hear me all properly. Sounds fine. Good to hear. All right. Today we are going to be playing a game called Mars First Logistics. Mars First Logistics is a game that is definitely in the same sort of category, I would say, as Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, where you are stapling together pieces of vehicles in order to achieve specific goals that you've been assigned. And while Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts had more of a focus on completing bespoke objectives, this game has a larger focus on making devices to haul awkwardly shaped objects and transporting stuff across a not always perfectly smooth sorta environment. As the game describes it, Mars First Logistics is an open-world physics simulation game where you create your very own mechanized Martian rover. Play solo or join up to 3 friends in online co-op. So without any further ado, why don't we get straight into it? Should now have the funky music of the game. And you should be able to see me move my mouse around here. So we are going to start off with a new game and with the tutorial visible, simply for the sake of better explaining how everything works. Welcome to Mars First Logistics. Since this is your first day on the job, spend a little time getting familiar with your vehicle's controls. I really love the visuals of this game so much. Especially the conscious decision to have details get sort of muted out from far away. Although I do want to change one thing real quick. There. And then at any time, we can hold R in order to reset our vehicle. And it will put it right side up on a relatively flat location nearby. You can do this an infinite number of times without any sort of limit. The trick is, well, this is a logistics game, so you're going to be hauling things. If you reset your vehicle, you're not going to be holding it anymore. So we're going to start off with a very basic initial contract, which is to deliver a watering can. So we're going to go over here and see that it is starting from this envelope location and then moving on over to a further location out here. So we can mark the approximate spot on our map, hit space to accept the job, and we've got the location of our package where I put my marker down, and our destination. So, well, it is absolutely possible for me to just, you know, shove this thing all the way there. That kind of misses the point. So we're going to start off with Edit Vehicle. And we're told we have a blueprint designed specifically for this job. Sounds nice and handy. But we can give our vehicle a nice paint job, respective of me, or appropriate of me. But we can also go and pick one of the existing blueprints, which is a handy vehicle aptly titled Watering Can Lifter. Put a splash of color on it. And just like that, we have it available. This vehicle has a controllable part. Press C, we can look at the different channels that our vehicle has. Currently, since it only has one controllable part, it has one channel. All vehicle controls for the sort of, like, individual control is simply left click and right click. Nothing else. And then you press C in order to switch channels, and so you can select a different item that is just left click and right click. Read. Very good sounds in this game. So, we're going to go and make a solid attempt at hooking this watering can here, like this. Get it nice and secure, and drive on down. And just like that, our first contract is complete. And we have a new one for delivery crate. So go ahead and accept it. This one starts out here. Oh, another neat feature of this game here is a very fantastic photo mode. Complete with time of day changer for visuals. And just to really solidify this as being one of the most adorable photo modes in existence, if you press spacebar, you get coloring in mode, which is so you can print this out and color it in yourself with markers or crayons. Just a very adorable paint by numbers generator. Should you so choose. Very adorable. I think I see a problem here. It's almost like our vehicle isn't really well designed for this task. This is, after all, the watering can lifter, so... Below each part, you can see how many you own, excluding those currently on the vehicle. Complete contracts earns you funds. You can see your current balance here. F to buy new parts using your hard-earned funds. So, that is a major aspect of the game, is that we don't have very many of the parts available. We have only the absolute simplest of things. The most complicated objects we have are wheels with suspension and a servo, of which we can't even afford more than one. We started off with one, but we can't even get a second one. So we're going to have to keep this very technologically simple and find some way in order to, with what we have available, and with maybe $30 worth of 30 funds worth of additional credits, get this thing off the sledge. So, there's a pretty easy way to do this, I think. Simply make some sort of puncher, I guess. Perfect. Exactly the sort of solution you would hope for in this game. Clearly, this is the most effective tool for this job in particular. Let's see. Solanum Star says, ooh, that's cool as heck in regards to, I think that was the paint by numbers system. And F. Zoe Blackheart says, hello, love. Hello to you too. As you can tell, this vehicle is very good at knocking things off shelves, but less so for anything else. So let's just go and do something like that. Looks like a little critter with a pair of teeth on the front, you know? Let's see. Something like this, perhaps? Good enough. Vroom vroom. Bam. So, as a reward for this story-specific contract, we've gotten several new parts unlocked and a couple of each of them. And we've gotten a new blueprint that happens to use those. F. Zoe saying in chat that they promoted me. Thank you. Let's see here. I still haven't actually set up a better system for viewing chat, so I gotta do this on my phone, which is directly below my monitor, which is absolutely not the best way to handle this, but regardless, you work with what you got. So, we have new object. And as I had mentioned about channels before, this has two controllable parts that can be operated independently. Independently, but never at the same time. That is one of the strong limitations of this game, is that you cannot be controlling both of these at once. Hang on. I think I'm lying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I'm totally lying. Yep. I completely forgot about this. You have some number of channels available, but you are allowed to put multiple objects onto the same channel. Let me just go and get a particular version again, that way they're independent. Alright. New objective. Deliver a crate of oranges. We got the box, we got the watering can, and as you can see, we've got a cute little greenhouse for growing oranges. And some awesome looking stylized reflections on the windows. Very cool. So we line ourselves up just right. Looks like we need to Our grip is not quite wide enough to grab it that way, so get over here, lower ourselves down, close our gnashy teeth, lift up, maybe lower a bit just for center of gravity reasons, and those oranges are loose in there, so if we trip over a rock and flip, then we're going to spill all our items. Thankfully, you can reset the contract and just have all of the oranges appear back at the spawn point inside their box again. This game definitely plays around with concepts of this thing is uniquely unwieldy to move around, which is where the main difficulty and the designs of the game come in. You can see there's some sort of infrastructure down there and over there. I'm sure we'll deliver to those soon enough. But for now, we've got these spacemen, space folk, who are trying to do some surveying work, but beep beep, we got a rover coming through. And just like that, all these lovely astronauts needed was a few oranges to get them build all this, apparently. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see here. So, our main contracts are the storyline missions and frequently get you blueprints and lead to new infrastructure like that. And then side jobs are... Some of them seem to be predetermined, but a lot of side jobs are procedurally generated, and that is a fancy term for randomized. So they can give you different amounts of pay, which is, you know, based on distance and based on difficulty. And you can also sometimes unlock new parts from doing side jobs, so it's always worth it to keep an eye on those. But for now, this place has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steel beams set up and needs a 6th. So off we go. Daedalus 1134 says, highly caffeinated oranges. Yeah. They did bioengineering in order to make those oranges very, very caffeinated, so the little space fellas can build more efficiently. I'm playing Mars First Logistics, but those fellas, they're playing Satisfactory. Maybe I could play Satisfactory too. Something to think about for sure. Alright. Let's just go and grab this thing here. And... perfect. Don't even need a new vehicle. I'm sure this will work absolutely fine. I am actually very astounded that this is working. I'm gonna be real, I was thinking that the grabber claws would not be able to close tight enough to be able to grab it, and I'd have to design something better for the job, but cool. Zoe Blackheart says we can also do some striving too, I bet. Yeah. I play a lot of Guilty Gear Strive, and could absolutely stream some of that. Shout out as well to T-Jabs, by the way, who does Sunday Night Strive, of which I partake in. Casual games for a bunch of different people of all skill levels to practice Guilty Gear Strive. A lot of fun, very casual. So, as you can see, we've got a problem. In order to complete a contract, the object in question needs to be fully within the box. Nothing our trusty watering can lifter can't fix, though, I'm sure. This is fine. Oh my goodness. This is actually fine? Yes! That's, I think, one of the most charming parts of this game is... if you'll excuse the internet meme, the extremely goes in the square hole aspect of vehicle design that you can get away with. Yeah, you could design another vehicle, or you could do this very dubiously with your existing one, maybe. Like, if you want to just turn this into getting over it with Bennett Foddy by just making this a Sisyphean task of trying to vaguely nudge something as opposed to actually building a vehicle that suits the purpose, you could totally get away with that. Sometimes. But that's one of the things I find most fascinating about this type of game, is that it's an engineering puzzle-solving game. There's a trillion or infinite number of solutions to any given problem, but some are definitely better than others. Alright. Looks like we're going to need to use this elevator at some point. As for driving around, this game handles it in a very simple but clever way, in that you are free to teleport, but you can't teleport objects with you, and you can only teleport to points of interest that you've been to. So, I can warp straight back to that work-in-progress building up there, but if I am holding this object in my hands while I try and do that, I'm going to warp there without it. Anyways, this is a high-precision telescope mirror used for a observatory, perhaps. So it being a very delicate and fragile item, we are going to need to be smart about how we design things here. First off, one thing I definitely like to do off of the base rover is simply give it a bit more size. Ooh, I didn't actually mean to buy a third wheel there. It's fine. Pardon me for just a moment here, as I make some design improvements on the existing rover. Yeah, let's give it a nice little paint job. Sure. One moment. There we go. So with a much wider wheelbase, we can grab the ground a lot easier. That said, we didn't actually fix the problem of how to grab this thing, so... Hmm. Let's see, what was the button for this? It's change pivot, W and S. There we go. Very fun how bug-like a lot of these end up looking, especially if you decide to paint them green. There we go, perfect. Let's just move this highly fragile telescope mirror up this hill here. Just... Oh. Lost it a bit, but that's an easier angle for me to pick it up by, I think. Beautiful. Hi, friends. I brought you that precision instrument you wanted. Good stuff. And just like that. We have completed the observatory. Now this is interesting, because one of the reasons I wanted to stream this game is they added a very major update recently that put in a new major feature, and I think I just got access to it despite how early on in the game I am. Let's see here. We should save this beautiful design of ours. I have some old machines, but I'll, with the exception of a couple beautiful things I still treasure. I'm going to be overwriting most of this. Oh, if you ever load a vehicle by mistake, you can always undo. Good. Thank you, game, for allowing me to do that. Because I actually wanted to do that instead. If Zoe asks, do you think you'd ever do Sayonara Wild Hearts? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking I'm going to have Wednesdays for my streams be a... One second here. You've equipped a Theodolite, which can be used to build structures such as transmitters and roads. Hold C to see its controls. So as I was saying, my plan is that Wednesday is going to be a extended game with a storyline, so multi-part things such as Diaries of a Spaceport Janitor, and then Mondays shall be this until further notice, and maybe Fridays will be 1 or 2 session games that are highlights of smaller stuff, and so Sayonara Wild Hearts I think would be perfectly suited for that. So, the Theodolite is a new feature added like a week ago. You can aim and select with it, so I have no idea how this works. Interesting. Heh. Alright, so you can see there's a fog of war here on the map. That's not just for show. If we actually get to the edge of that visible area, we lose control of our rover entirely. We cannot drive out there. And prior to now, as described, the active contract is outside your signal range. To extend your signal range, build more transmitters using their Theodolite part. It used to be that the transmitters there were, how to put this? Assassin's Creed style towers. Where you'd go and tap it and then bam, you have more of the arena available. More visibility. But now, you build them yourself, it looks like. To extend your range of influence. Fast travel over here, and time to drive. Great start. Remember, oh, those wheels are rather nice. I believe they're slower. Yeah, there we go. I hope y'all have been having a lovely day today. And thank you as always for tuning in. Zoe Blackheart says, it got better after I got off work. Daedalus 1134 agrees, and Blackheart appends, but to be honest, what did I expect? Yeah, fair enough. And here we are, the edge of my signal. Oh. I see. Wow. Oh no. I was thinking I needed to go to the edge of my physical range, but no, I might need to be closer to the actual other transmitter, which means I need to drive back a bit. Hopefully not too much. Let's see, I should mark on the map that way. Oh, I wonder if they need line of sight. Ah, dear. I think I needed line of sight. Yeah. Yeah, there's that indicator, so... Oof. That does give it an interesting... some interesting concepts, though, in that the transmitters need to be able to see each other, so you need to put them on higher areas, but their reach far extends where you plant them in order to accommodate for... Simple driving. Yep, obstruction, so... You legitimately do need line of sight available. And you know what that means. If we're able to build roads and build transmitters in order to set up infrastructure on otherwise infrastructureless planet, you know what that means. That means this is the world's second ever Strand game. Guess what, Death Stranding? Someone beat you to the punch on that sequel. Daedalus 1134 says, carrying things awkwardly across a barren environment, placing roads and mapping routes. Checks out. Yeah, you get it. See? The world's second ever Strand game. I'm gonna be real, I quite like this system. I did not expect the requirement of line of sight, and I think that's really, really interesting. It really makes you actually think about the Martian landscape and how you interact with it and what routes you take. Ah, I'm here. I recognize where this mission is. Should be quite silly. Um, Alright. Going to... Ah, okay. The transmitter towers no longer serve as waypoints, because they used to just be a point of interest on the map. And now, since they're placeable viewers, they're no longer a fast travel location. Right then. Thankfully, we don't need to physically reach the greenhouse to mark it as a point of interest, because, yeah, there's a jump in the way. Go ahead and tag the steel mill as well. And here we are. Crate of apples. Oh yeah. Let's go. Mission status sick. You are so right. Episode Blackheart, you are so incredibly right. Let's see here. Looks like this crate is exactly the same dimensions as the other one. But this one's got apples, though. Wonder if these are also highly caffeinated. just like the oranges. Get ourselves a good grip on it. Lift it up just slightly. And yeah, we're gonna have to jump with these. That's fine. I'm sure they won't notice that 2 of the apples are missing. Yeah, they noticed. But thankfully, I can speed this up a little bit. And honestly, from the looks of it, this vehicle might actually be fairly suited for dealing with small items like this. So I can just, yeah. We've got a little bumper on the front, and we've got these teeth here. Oh, perfect. That could not have gone better. Apples also aren't fragile, so it's totally fine that I'm literally bashing them across the ground underneath my wheels as I drive it over here. Solanum Star says, the apples are very cooperative. That is extremely true. Thank you so much, apples. And as you can see, there's... Our space fellows have been enjoying the apples. Highly cooperative apples. So once again, we got a steel beam request. This one's going to get real interesting by the end, though. Because before we had to deliver the steel beam and send it over, like, vertically, this one's going to be a little bit different. To the point of which I wonder if I have the resources to make a suitable vehicle for this. Kinda dubious. So let's take a look. And yeah. We need to bring that thing across here and drop it horizontally into position. We need to let go of it and let it fall right there. And we need to not mess up. So, let's get ourselves nice and lined up here for the sake of reference. And it's to the drawing board. So, actually, let me get into a better position here because I realize there's 2 problems I need to solve. First off, we're going to need a very wide wheelbase. That way we can drive across this thing. Looks about the right size. Let me put the big wheels on this for safety. And we just copy. Oh, another very, very nice feature of this game. If you're trying to copy and paste something and you can't because you don't have the resources, if you press F, it will auto-calculate the price for the missing pieces, so you can buy it. And so here's the vehicle that we need in order to actually just drive across this thing. And we might be out of money. I was thinking I could do a similar thing here with grabbing the object, but we might just have to save this one for later, to be honest. Sorry, friends, I'm not sure I can deliver that steel beam for you right now. Oh, a commission to build a road. That is extremely beyond what I can afford, though, because from what I saw, each road segment costs 100 credits. So 23-kilometer road commission is not remotely possible for me. I could deliver a microwave, though. And I could deliver a short ladder. So. Oh, right. Datalist 1134 points out that I start with 10 roads. And I started with 10 transmitters, so my first 10 are free. Oh, okay, that's extremely cute. I never noticed that. Little pair of space boots left outside. Don't want to track in any Mars dust, after all. Leave your shoes at the door. Glad to see folks in the chat, just idly chatting with each other. I knew that this was going to be a rather chill pick, because this is, in some ways, Martian Euro Truck Simulator. Let's be real. but it's a game I really like to just relax to, and I kind of just need the hours. I'm pretty solidly on my way to reaching affiliate in terms of followers and viewers per stream, but I just need additional hours put in, so. Something relaxing, low commitment, where I can just chat with folks. That sounds ideal to me. And talk about how nifty that whole placing transmitters yourself is. Oh, what's... Okay. Again, this game is unbelievably adorable. This is a little camp set up for hosting a birthday party. A little birthday cookout. If Zoe Blackheart says, if you want to do a spooky stream, I'm always down to talk We Know the Devil. I sure am as well. If Zoe Blackheart adds, especially because Who Boy Christian Trauma. Yeah. That game resonated with me in a couple different ways, despite not having a particularly religious upbringing, because there's other conceptualizations that game goes into, and if you know me, you know exactly what I'm going to say next, in that one of the characters is extremely relatable to me. Fancy that. That's all. There's two separate times that I spoke with the devs, actually, of that game to say, hey, thanks for making it. And neither time did I manage to work up the courage to say, hey, I relate extremely heavily to this character. Does that mean something? That would have accelerated one of the arcs of my life very rapidly had I actually gotten those words out. Because, yes, it extremely means something if I relate to that specific character. There's a very specific point that they're making with that character that they underline, and I, of course, being a goofus, just sort of went, huh, that's interesting. I wonder if that... It's probably not a translation error or anything, but it's weird that they did that. Huh. And then proceeded to not self-reflect on the concept any further. Sorry that I'm keeping it generally vague, but I do want to... That's a game I definitely want to go through, especially for the spooky season, and that... Yeah, don't want to spoil it too much. Zoe Blackheart posts a very specific symbol in the chat, and unsurprisingly, yes, you hit the nail on the head. That one. Here's our latest task, now that we've set up a little bit of new infrastructure and traveled a bit. Oh, actually, dang. Not only is this, a delivery to a new location, but oh, this one ends. This one ends where another commission begins. And yeah, sorry about auto mod. I need to configure that thing a bit. I have it set to followers only chat, and I think I'll just keep it that way basically forever. Speaking of which, if you're a viewer and you want to chat, just give me a follow. So I can probably have Automod chill a bit. How are we going to even get a grip on this ladder? Might be possible just as a crate carrier for this. Looks like it doesn't actually fully reach the ground though, so... Oh. That might actually be enough to do it. Ugh. What am I doing? I can open it wider. Yes! Very dubious if this is going to hold for any more than a couple seconds, but we can try. Get some chill tunes as we desperately try and move this thing across the landscape. Fascinating building shapes around here. I wonder what this is. Oh no. Ah, oh, beans. I need this to be vertical. Hmm. Maybe a very easy fix? Possibly? Yes! Heck, this is a better version of the crate carrier. One simple addition. Oh, before I leave here. I've got another commission that starts from here. Of which my... what's the word? Not oscillating. Movable. Wigglyable. Crate carrier should be able to assist in carrying. Articulating. That's what. That's the word. Yep, going fantastically so far. there. Get me in a good position here, and I can twist this downward to get floor height. So we have a problem. I can't turn while holding it like this. Maybe I don't need to. Oh. I might be onto something here. Very slow and calculated movements. Bring that down a bit. Grab until we have grip. Give it a couple good wiggles. So this is a good example of what I was saying about square hole style solutions to problems. Is this the right tool for the job? No. No, it isn't. But you know, I don't have to bring it very far. See? The Wiggler. Attack of the Wiggler. Wiggler Wednesday. Wiggler Wednesday, Lack Tuesday. This is what this game's all about. Kick your problems into the correct position. Soy Blackheart says, has this dev done anything more? This game is led by Ian McClarty. Ian McClarty has made a few different other games. Jump Grid is one, an action game where you bounce between specified points, sort of psychedelic, high-paced. And another game of theirs that I actually plan on streaming at some point called Catacombs of Solaris, which is a very simple sort of prototype that shows off a very visually interesting optical illusion effect. The core concept is that every time you stop, the world essentially it takes a snapshot of whatever you're looking at, and that becomes the patterns on the walls. So when you start moving again, it's a maze that has that pattern on the walls, despite the fact that, you know, maybe you're looking at something that was not, maybe you were already facing directly into a wall. It is now simply the texture that you're looking at, and you can walk through forward because you stopped. And so basically the world is retooling itself every time you stop, and it is a very trippy sort of visual effect. I believe they released Catacombs of Solaris Remastered, but the one I have experience with is the original prototype, so maybe I'll do the remastered version at some point. I think it might be on Steam. I'm not sure. But yes, Ian McClarty's made a few different things, and those are ones that immediately come to mind, but I'm pretty sure there's several others. Shape Shop is the name of the company that they are, I believe, the head of. But yes, this game is developed by Shape Shop. I always try to make sure I show the credits for things and point out that very few games are a solo task. Ian McClarty is probably the person, well, the lead of this game, and probably one of the core people to make it happen, but it's not a solo project. Basically, it never is. All games are made with the help of others, whether it's just moral support or otherwise. What's that beautiful, beautiful quote? It's, "The games press has an uncanny tendency to attribute the development of a game to a single person," says Warren Spector, the creator of Thief and Deus Ex. Just an absolute perfect quote. I'm aware of that, and so I try and, not do that. So I got so distracted by the minutia there that I didn't highlight that we just got a extremely vital item. We got the ore hauler. So not only does this thing have a fairly decent universal grabby stuff design, it also comes with a lot of pieces for us to use. Because, again, each time we unlock a blueprint, we get all the parts needed to assemble it. But you can see there's some rocket bells on there. We have a jet engine. Video games. Games visuals remind me of Sabos' Unicids. Absolutely. Daedalus says, "Game dev Zun, who solo devs over 10,000 games each day, is an outlier and should not have been counted." Let's see. Deliver iron ore. That sounds like a job that is specifically designed for the ore hauler. So let's slap a theodolite on this. Or, actually, no. No. I think we can... Let's see. Damn, I can't use this at all because it has that top crossbar. So I'm going to have to reinvent it a little bit. But that should be fairly easy because all it is it is the Scout with a couple rocket engines attached to the back. Hell yeah. Mission status sick once more. Oh, what a beautiful angle on that. Just barely peeking over the mountains like that. Awesome. Toho project discussion in the chat. Hell yeah. I gotta find a way to get chat live displaying on the stream, especially if I'm going to continue to do games like this, where quite a bit of it is just going to be, you know, chill driving around and chatting. Unicid saying that Streamlabs might have it, and extension for OBS. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all that stuff is correct. I have no extensions currently set up. I'm just doing basic OBS. Thank you for your suggestions, everyone. A lot of you chiming in with various different tools I could use to potentially get that set up, and yeah. Here's hoping that by the next time I stream, I will have chat visuals up and ready. That said here, man, the time really just flew by, didn't it? The plan was for this stream to be an hour and a half, and we are getting fairly close to that, I think, here. Yeah, including 8 p.m. of my time here. Let's see here. It's very hard to scroll the chat on this phone because it has 2 comments visible because it tries to show me a whole bunch of other visuals, and I can't figure out how to make it show only the chat. I do not need to see my own feed. Alright. So, first off, we need to save this vehicle because this thing is excellent. Give ourselves a nice little bumblebee coloration thing going. That's a happy vehicle right there. Yeah, that looks nice. And that will replace our vehicle in slot 3 because this is essentially exactly the same thing of my previous playthrough, except this one has the theodolite on it. Fun fact, everyone, a theodolite is a real object. That is the technical term for that surveying equipment used that you may have seen construction workers use that measures precise angles. This one has a bit more futuristic of use, but oh yeah, I'm really happy with this color scheme. Looks like folks in the chat are too. I'm going to deliver this rock, and I might call it for the day. I just wanted to really get that thing prettied up, because that's going to be my daily driver for any future streams. For building roads, for flying high. Oh, I didn't bring it up, but you may have worked it out just from looking. Fuel is limited, and you regain it by visiting locales, points of interest. Okay, it looks like we drift forward, so we are going to need to face approximately this way, and oh, here we go. Good enough. And a new contract right from here to deliver a functional and assembled robot. It's kind of shaped like ore. Oh. That's going to be a problem. Sorry, little buddy. Could I get a roboticist over here to fix that thing up? Thank you. Roboticist, I think, is the right word, but it just made me think of roboticism, which is, sounds like something else. I do really enjoy how adorable and toy-like everything in this game is. So maybe, once again, the brain of approximately the right tool for the job is kicking in. So if I just do this kind of carefully, maybe this will work. I have a bit of a grip on it, but I have to work out how to actually get out of here. The eroticism of the machine. Indeed. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. I haven't labeled these streams as being for particularly adults, but I don't think any of y'all in chat have crossed any lines, but yeah. Keep it at about that level. Thank you. I thought about using the jump jets as per a comment, but I don't want to land hard and snap off an arm on this robot and then need to go and just like get my shover robot and shove the robot. Yeah, I try not to curse on these streams, which gives you a decent idea of what sort of level I'm going for. That said, I am absolutely planning to play things like Ultra Kill, though, so, those will obviously be labeled as mature. And with this contract complete, I think we are about complete, and that means it's time for me to try and figure out how to do something here. Unicid says in the chat that they are preparing for their own stream. And Unicid's actually has a PNG tuber of the exact same art style and by the same artist as me right here, Moo. So it is directly Unicid it is directly the result of Unicid that I am here streaming now, and so I'm going to see if I can figure out how to route folks on over after that stream gets live. Check out Unicid's content. And let me just get one very quick thing shown here. That rocket fin that we handled before, it has been tested. And how do you know it's tested? That's right, baby. It's got the golden check mark. That's how you know it's a genuine one. Mm-hmm. If you know, you know. It's a golden check mark. Of a very particular design. But with that, we have access to jets. We have gotten the basics set up. We've got a jet-powered scout vehicle that we've modified. Great progress today, I think. And we got little fellows in there working on their projects. Space fellas. And so, with that, I'm gonna transition over here to my post stream and desperately try and figure out how to route over to another place. Or as I love to put it. 1 second. Oh. To yourself. To another place. Hee. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.